Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and I am back with day number 27 of the Scrap Now, Sleep Later March Madness Sketch Challenge. This is the sketch that we're going to be using, and guess what? I'm back with Hello Summer from Echo Park. These photos are actually photos that are from the same day of the very first layout that I did for the March Madness, which was flips in the pool. There were these other photos of Eli and Anderson that I wanted to also document, and this layout actually goes in a different direction, and I'm actually pretty excited about it. So as you can see here, I am doing math with my fingers. The sketch called for really wall-to-wall paper, so I was trying to figure out like how much of the paper needed to be on the left and the right by cutting out this polka dotted paper, and then using my T-square ruler to cut out the cloud paper to make sure that it fit, because I only had one sheet of the cloud paper and one sheet of the polka dotted paper, so I wanted to make sure that I cut it correctly and didn't mess it up. So when I saw this sketch, I thought it was perfect because I have these two photos that are close-up of Anderson when he was in the pool, and then a close-up of Eli and Anderson in the pool. And then all of the other photos I knew that I could cut down because they were a little bit further away. And they're just really random photos of them hanging out in the pool. As I was looking through the cards, this is where the layout takes a turn, because I found this card that had a list of 1 through 10, and I had saw that earlier in the month, and I was like, you know, it'd be really cool if I could do like a top 10 layout or something like that. These photos, while yeah, it's great that they are just random pool photos, like, you know what, I could do like a top 10 things I love about summer. And as I'm like going through these photos, that's where I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. So again, I'm using Mermaid Lagoon to distress all of the edges, and I take a picture of the photos to make sure that I have the right placement. Once I get all of the papers inked up, I'm going to gut the center, which this causes me so much drama. Oh my goodness. I cut it all off because at one point I just got so frustrated with the layout. After I got all of the paper down, I realized that I put the striped paper in the wrong place. The striped paper was supposed to be next to the polka dotted paper, so I just went ahead and cut out a 1/4 inch strip in the orange to separate the cloud paper from the polka dotted paper. Then I laid the photos back down. I'm gonna struggle with trying to figure out how to put these photos down. At first I was like, oh, I'll just put a 1 inch border on the top and the bottom, because I measured it out and the photos were 10 inches, so I thought that was perfect. But then I get it down and I was like, oh, if I do that, the photos will be touching in the center, so I had to pull them up. Then I thought I would do a 1/2 inch, and of course I'm going to struggle, try to figure all of that out. I get my photos down, I do a 1/4 inch at the top as well, and then realize that I have a huge gap in the center. And I was like, that I don't want that either. So I pull the photos back up and I think, well, maybe I should just start with the center. Maybe that'll be the easiest. So I figure out what the center of the layout will be with that card, and then how much space I want between the photos. I don't even measure it. I really just use like a strip of polka dots on the bottom and then just eyeball it at the top because it cut off half of it. Once I got those 3 photos down, then it was a lot easier to get the rest of the grid down because I just lined them up with those 3 photos. So it really is, the first row is really the most important row. Of course, I did have to erase my pencil marks that I made because I definitely didn't line those up properly. Now the sketch does call for a photo down there in the bottom, but I didn't have enough photos, and I looked through the photos quite a bit to try to figure it out, but I was like, I will just figure that out later. I do go ahead and put the photo of Anderson up on Fun Foam, and then realized that I also wanted to put this photo of both of them up on Fun Foam as well. So I had to pull that photo up to add it back with the Fun Foam on top. I really liked this Hello Summer since I was going to be using the title of like 10 things I love about summer. And I thought I could add that over to the far left-hand side. Didn't like the way that it looked there. Then I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that bottom square. And this is where it all starts to come together, because in the chipboard piece, there's actually the word summer. So I used that as part of my title. Then I take this cloud piece and I'm actually going to put the number 10 on the cloud. So I do put that up on fun foam as well to match the height of the chipboard pieces. I thought about adding another cloud, but I didn't like the way that that looked. So I had these green tile stickers and I used the word things I love and then realized that I was short a word. It needs to say 10 things I love about. And I struggled a little bit because I was like, I am one letter short because they were only one capitalized and one lowercase letter. But then I thought, well, what if I put the word love all in capitalized? Then I would have enough. I was super excited that I was able to get this title to work with those particular stickers. Like I didn't have to pull out different stickers or make them different colors or things like that to make them work. I did pull out these really glittery thickers to use for the number 10. Then I'm going to use my glue press to get the chipboard pieces down. And once I get those chipboard pieces down, then I'll go ahead and add the tile stickers down as well. So what I do was make sure that the about and the word I were on the very edge of the word summer, and then space the word love in the middle of it. Then I use my glue press to go ahead and add the number 10 down. I then realized that I wanted part of the word things to sit on top of the cloud, but because the cloud was up on fun foam as well as the word things, I did have to pull up part of the foam strips from the back of the word things to make sure that they fit properly. The T is actually fully on the cloud and then things kind of hangs off of it. So I had to do a little bit of configuring with that to make sure that it fit properly. But then once I get it down, I think that it works perfectly in that space up there. I looked through the cards and the pattern paper trying to figure out something that I can use over in the bottom right hand side, and I finally find this chevron piece that I think is going to be perfect. Then I start looking through the sticker pieces, trying to find a sticker for it. I audition a couple of pieces, but I finally go back to that Hello Summer. I think that that looks really nice on that chevron piece. Even though the Hello Summer is edged in a yellow, it just flows very well. I go ahead and put the yellow chevron down and then add the Hello Summer to it. Off camera, I asked Eli for his top 10 things that he loves about summer. Then afterwards, I told him he could be on film. He's giving his thumbs up there to say this is his list. And then he does his silly face that he does. I did write that top 10 list on just a piece of scratch white paper and then transferred it over to the tag. So his top 10 things that he loves about summer is that, and these are all his words, it's not cold, it's hot, no school, playing in the pool, getting to see fireworks, go to Disney more, play outside with friends, Malachi, which is his brother, Malachi visits, do fun things. And when I asked him to elaborate that, he went into the vacations that we've done, so I put that in parentheses. Get to stay up later, and gets mangoes from Granddaddy's. So my grandfather has a mango tree that comes in bloom during the summertime, so he gets his mangoes. Over on the far right hand side, what I decided to do in the clouds was I put 2 dates. The first date was the date of the photos, and I actually go ahead and write that in. It says photos and the date, and then to the right of that is I have journaling, and then I actually put the date that we did the journaling. And this layout will go in my 2020 album because that's when the photos were taken. But I just wanted to make sure that it was clear that the journaling was actually taken in 2024, even though probably back in 2020, it's the same thing. I also started to fill in the clusters. Over on the far right hand side, I added a little red camera, an arrow, a word that says happiness. I did pull in the glittery thickers to add to that to bring in that glittery 10 from the title. Over on the left-hand side, underneath the photo of the boys, I have a green heart, as well as one of those glittery pieces. And then I did pull out my color boxes to pull in blue stars into each one of the clusters. So here is my final layout, as well as some close-ups. We are so close to being done with March Madness, and I am super excited about all the layouts that I've gotten completed. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.